Hello. Welcome back to the studio. Alright, tonight I'm going to paint another Christmas card. This one I've got on here. It's 3 Christmas balls. We're going to paint some nice, maybe a red one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And see how that turns out for us. Alright, so let's just dive right in. I think I'm going to paint a red one right on the front. I'm going to mix a little paint here off to the side. I'm going to use alizarin crimson, and I'm just gonna block in some color here. Just want to get it on there first of all before we do much of anything. I don't know what you call the little clasp at the top that you hook your hook onto to put it on your tree. But I'm just going to paint right over top of that for the time being. We're going to go back in and maybe we'll use a watercolor pencil or a bit of ink, and we'll go over top of that, and we'll make that a little darker, a little different color. It'll stand out just enough so that it looks like I don't know. Well, so that it looks like it's hanging. We'll put some threads on there to hold them up or something like that. Okay, so I've just blocked in a little bit of basic color, and kind of to remind myself of what I'm doing, I'm going to dry my brush a little bit, and I'm going to stroke out a little bit of this color on the top side, just a touch on the bottom side, and that's going to tell me my light is coming in from this angle up here down. So I'm going to do the same thing here. It's going to be a highlight and a highlight on these ones. So let me get my blue color going here. I'm going to make this one blue. I could have made it green, or I could have made it yellow. I could have made it any of the other colors. I just happen to pick blue for this one. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Also, as this one's drying, that spot where I pulled that paint out is going to dry just that little bit lighter than everything else, and it's gonna help us along. Let's see. So my red in here is alizarin crimson, and my blue is the favorite blue that I have in my palette, which is turquoise blue. And if this touches, I'm going to blot a little bit of it out. Wow, that really runs in there. I'm going to blot a little bit of that out, but I'm not going to blot too much out, because we do have a blue shadow that's going to go onto there. I didn't think we were going to run quite that badly, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to blot that out and put that red right back over top. Alright, there we go. Let's just get that on there. And that's going to be just fine. Won't slow us down at all. We're not going to sweat it. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to keep right on moving ahead. When it's all said and done, we'll never notice it. Anybody you give it to won't notice it. They'll just see a beautiful, a fantastic Christmas ball. I'm going to sweep away a little bit of that color and do the same thing on the blue. There we go. I think on the blue maybe you'll be able to see that a little bit better up here. And then I'm going to mix up a little yellow that I want to use. I'm not going to use too bright of a yellow. Here it is. I don't know what this yellow is on my palette. I think it's Hansa yellow. I'm not exactly sure, but it's a nice yellow, not too bright, not too green or anything. Just a nice yellow color for us here. I'm going to go right in. And you see, now or maybe you can't quite see, my yellow's running into my blue a little bit. I'm not going to sweat it too much. I might pick a little bit out of there just so we don't have any but I'm going to touch just a little bit of that blue into the yellow. I'm going to hope it doesn't run quite as badly as the red, because we are going to have a bit of that yellow reflection in the blue and the blue reflection in the yellow. Make sure my card is dry. Okay, there we go. I've got my first layer on, just blocking in some basic color. I'm going to dry this off, and then we're going to get to some more exciting stuff. This will be good. Let me just dry this off. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start back with the red again, and I'm going to mix up quite a bit of my red, and I'm also going to mix a little bit of a more purplish color, which of course is going to go down in the bottom. I'm going to use that same color red, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of ultramarine blue this time, and I'm just going to go right around the bottom of it, about the bottom half. We're going to make it round, so we're going to give it a nice crescent shape like that, right out to the edges. Then I'm going to come back right in with my red that the rest of the ball is. Alright, and I'm going to take that most of the way up to the top. Actually, I'll probably take that all the way up to the top, up here. And you can already see that it looks like it's a little bit in shadow down here on the bottom. I hope you can see that anyways. I'm going to put in my white there, and on just the very outside of that, I'm going to put in a dark line. That's kind of our back reflection. That's going to make it look a little bit rounder still. And you know what? I'm going to darken this down here just even a little bit more. I want this to look really round. And then on this side of the ball, I'm going to take out a highlight. So I'm going to have one on the top and one on the bottom. There we go. And that's going to make it look really round. So I've got a little bit of dark. I should turn it this way you can see it. I've got a little bit of dark here, plus the blue that you can see coming in. I've got it pretty dark down here. I might want to give it another shot of dark way down, like the bottom third way down here, away from the light source is really going to be dark. There we go. And I'm going to kind of blend that out a little bit. That's good. And I'm going to fill in what I've just blended with my regular color. And that's going to allow that blue, that really dark blue, to come way out. Okay, it's going to look like a big, really big highlight. So if I do a third color now, a third layer, I could just go on with red. That'll come on with a shadow. I'll leave this nearly vacant. And it will give it a really nice rounded shape. Before I do anything else, I don't want my colors to run. At this point, I'm going to dry it off. Alright, and you can see it really looks like a round ball, like it's really shaped there. I'm going to do the same thing with my blue ball. I'm going to get my blue color. I'm going to intensify this a little bit. Let's see. The only difference is going to be that instead of doing the entire bottom third here in shadow, I won't be able to do that because I won't see all of it. So I'm going to mix in with my turquoise blue a little bit of the ultramarine blue and give myself a nice dark shadow down in the bottom down there. Let's see. Get a little bit more of this blue. I'm kind of running out of blue on my palette, this turquoise blue on my palette. I'm going to have to refill that well. There we go, and while we're still wet, I'm going to take a little bit of my ultramarine blue. I'm going to put it right down here like that. Put a little bit up there. And I'm just going to put a little bit on here for my top shadow on this side. Alright. And now, just like I did on the red one, I'm going to sweep off a highlight, or attempt to sweep off. I let it get a little bit dark. I can wet that and dab it just ever so slightly. It'll come right off. There we go. And a little bit on the opposite side. There we go. And our blue ball is about done. That should look, if you see it on the video, I'm trying to look on the video too. Nice big highlight here, our light sources there, and then a little reflected light on that side. So just let me give a little bit of drying to that. And I'm going to come back in and work my yellow here, mixing just a little bit more up on my palette. And this one I don't really have to worry about any shadow, maybe just a little bit on the far, what is this, right hand side over here. Maybe just a little bit. Let's see, I'm just getting color in here, trying to stay inside the lines. There we go. Before I forget about it, I'm going to drag out my color from there for my highlight. There we go. I'm going to drop in just a touch of this blue. I have to be careful with it right now, because I don't want to mix it. If I mix it, it's just going to turn green, and that's not really what I want. I just want the blue color, and I just want a little bit in that corner. I can go behind that if I want, but that's going to be a different color. Okay, so there's our shadow color in that one. And let me take a look. I just want to make this a little brighter. I think I'm going to go over this with one more coat of paint. It's just going to be a quick coat on each. I'm going to darken up the bottom. I'm going to get some of the blue color, the blue tint out of there. I'm going to give it its red tint back. And I'm going to leave off our highlights here. It's going to bring this whole thing up just a little bit. So let me, before my colors all run together, let me dry the yellow. That looks pretty good. Alright, here we go. Red one more time. Mix up a nice soupy solution of my red right here. I'm going to put on my color. You see that blue that was there previously is going to stay there as an undertone. Everything else going on is just going to serve to bring that color up a little bit. Just make it a little bit more intense. Let's see. There we go. Right on through there. Got that nice red color. Get that highlight out. Pick it out just like that. A little on this side. There we go. And you can see it looks like a nice round ball. Now we're going to take out a little extra of that color just to enforce the roundness of it. A quick dry, there's not much on it this time. I'm going to do the same thing with my turquoise blue. If I clean my brush and get all the red tint out of it. Here we go, just this stuff over here where I need to really bring that color, that vibrant blue color up a little bit. I'm going to go around that this time, or most of it anyways. Dry my brush real good, pull through there, give myself a nice highlight on it that time. A little bit on that side. And let's say that blue ball is done. One more to do before I do anything. I'm going to pull a lot of this yellow off. So when we put the next layer down, it's got a nice clear bit to go through. There we go. Actually, I think the yellow is pretty good. The yellow came through a lot stronger than the others did. Just going to draw on that a little bit. You can draw right back on your paint. And just dab on it with a cloth, and if you go over one spot a few times, that color will come right off of there. There we go. So we got 3 primary colors, 3 Christmas balls. We've got to do one more thing to really make this an exciting Christmas ball. And this is the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to get some water on my brush, and I'm going to put it on right next to that ball. Just touch that ball and spread that water out like that. Then I'm going to get some paint on my brush and just touch it right in there, and that's going to run out, spread out for us, give us a nice design. Just touch it. There we go. There, just like that. I'm going to do the blue over here. The blue is still just a tiny bit damp. So when the water runs out for it, it's going to already come out. Take that way out like that somehow. Take a little bit of our blue color, just touch it in there and let that run out. Got a little bit too wet, that's okay. Get some more, my blue is almost out. Just touch it in there, let that run right out like that. I'll do a little bit on the yellow, got to make sure my brush is really clean. Right up here. Yellow's not going to get me though this time. I'm going to make sure it's not quite as wet as the others. It's hard for me to see how wet. Not quite at the right angle to see that. I'll put some white in, or some white. I'm going to put some yellow in there. That's going to bleed out. Going to make it look really nice. I got just a little bit of blue left over from there. There we go. Let me dry this off. I think what I'm going to do is grab my watercolor pencils, if I can find them. Here we are. I've got some Prismacolor watercolor pencils. I'm going to grab a gray, 50% gray. I'm going to get it just a little bit wet so my color comes off. I'm going to draw these on. Could just as easily paint them on. I think this will work just as well. I think what I'm also going to do is outline them. How fine is that? This will work. This will work really nice. I'm going to give a little bit of an outline to these with a water pan. This is a micron pan. There we go. And I need to draw some strings. I need something straight. Here's something straight I can use. I've got, this is Wolf's graphite sketch pencils. Let's see, I can probably do this straight from, I might be able to do this straight. This will be kind of funny. From right about there, draw my line. From right about here in the middle, I'm going to draw a line up. From right there, and draw a line up. There's my Christmas balls hanging. I'm going to sign this. And with that, I've got another Christmas card done. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, click like. I would love to see you back here in the studio with me again. I enjoyed painting with you this time. Look forward to the next time. Until then, thank you.